Hello, how's it going?
How's
Hi.
it?
All right, thanks for coming to the webinar today. We're gonna wait a little bit for a few more people and then we'll start.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Is it just me or does everyone else have scratchy audio too?
I'm not sure. I can hear you very well.
It sounds fine on my end.
Okay, I can also talk more because that would help. Maybe it's me that's scratchy. Can you guys see the webinar screen that has the all the logos and stuff on it?
Yeah. Yep, we see it.
Good.
Yes. I'm trying different audio to see if that helps.
Okay. All right. We'll wait a few more minutes. How was your weather event this weekend? Everything work out? They're all muted? No, the red is not muted.
Yeah. So my audio is good.
Can you say something?
Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Hello. You're good? You can see and hear everything?
Yeah, ask your kids to help you figure out your audio, right? Not to hear anybody. You gotta listen.
Just so you're familiar with what's going on, we're going to mute you for the webinar, just so there's not a lot of cross talk traffic. And then you can type questions into the chat, and then at the end we'll have like a question answer. And but during the webinar, we'll all be muted, so don't try to talk during it, just in case. And everyone can see the front page with the logos and everything on it.
Yep.
Okay.
So I just switched headsets and the sound seems to be better. So something was going wrong with my headset.
Okay. Good. Glad you can hear.
It has been a bad technology day for me. I can't imagine how much worse it would have been if we'd had a storm.
Oh my goodness.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
How did I not know you were Canadian?
I don't know. It's from my mom's side. I'm dual. Never actually lived in Canada.
Oh, okay. How does Shale know how did it come up? Because Shale told me. How did Shale know?
Well, I think it probably just came up in conversation because she has the Canadian accent, so I probably picked it out and started up the conversation.
Hey everybody. So we're gonna wait a couple more minutes for a few more people to show up. If you could, in the chat, just send me your name and the organization that you represent, and that'll give me a good record of who is here, and just to let me know what happened today, and then who I would be talking to in the future as well, hopefully. So in the chat, your name and organization be helpful. 10 people?
Mhm.
So 10. All right.
You're on.
All right. So let's get started. Are you guys ready? Everything's done. We did say, you know, put your name and organization in the chat. So we have a roll call of who is here today. Also, if you have questions while I'm talking, you can type them in the chat, or you can save them till the end, and then so that I can just talk continuously the whole time, and a lot of your questions will be answered. You're also, you know, welcome to email me or call me if you have questions. But I hope that a lot of your questions will be answered during this webinar. So the program is the Aloha Aina Workforce Program. It's brought to you by Mālama Kauai and Kupa'a Kauai, which is the county's initiative to sort of bring everybody back from COVID. You can find more about that on kauaiforward.com and see just all their great marketing and videos. But the county gave Mālama Kauai a grant so that we can fund the Aloha Aina Workforce Program. So that's what we're presenting today. And so our meeting, next slide, please. Today's agenda is, here we go, to give an overview of the program, about what Aloha Aina Workforce is, benefits to you as host sites, what are the things that you need to do to perform your duties as a host site, what the worker will have to do, or what they need to do at your host site. It goes from August to December. It's a temporary employment for people. And then the next steps, like how you can sign up, what you need to do to sign up, your agreements between you and Mālama Kauai. And then we'll have a question and answer section at the end. Next. So an overview of the program. It is to work with various conservation and food system organizations and businesses, that's you guys, across the island to provide dislocated workers, that could be anybody that has lost their jobs specifically due to the COVID-19 crisis. So to provide those dislocated workers with hands-on benefited jobs in the conservation and food systems fields, as well as administrative roles within those industries. And these are temporary jobs that they'll be supplemented with job skills training like resume writing, career coaching, and very specific job training certifications to help assist these workers transition into a new career that could be tourism proof, more resilient, and provides the island with more of a sustainable mission, which is where we want our island to be, I hope. Next slide. So the benefits to you as host sites. So you will get at your workplace paid through this CARES grant mid-level workers for 12 weeks of employment. So employment will start on August 31st. That's a Monday. And their last day will be in the range November 27th to December 1st, depending on how your operation works. They will be half-time or full-time positions, again, depending on what your organization needs and what they can logically do. And they'll be paid $20 an hour with optional benefits. So these are actual jobs, like good jobs, right? And so what Mālama Kauai will do is to assist with promoting the openings, finding the workers, getting them their payroll and benefits and all of the human resources stuff. And you will select the workers from that pool as it works out for you and for the worker. So it should be a mutual benefit to everybody. There is also a worker stipend provided from the county. It's a certain dollar amount for full-time and for half-time. And that stipend would be stuff that they need specifically to do the job, particularly if they need special gloves, or if they need special boots or gear, PPE, safety supplies. If there's some sort of certification that is specific to that job in your field, we can help pay for that. What's important is all of these things need to be inventoried and have receipts along with them so that we can report them to the county. We'll find how important reporting is all day long with this thing. So, yeah. So you, as the host site, the requirements, what you need to do to receive these workers at your site, you must show that you can follow the county and state laws and recommendations for safety, like the basic COVID things that we've been hearing about, masking, distancing, sanitizing, and also the basic work site protocols like no harassment, the usuals, right? So you must be able to follow those laws. You also need to respond to every applicant that applies. Even if it's to say, I'm sorry, but we have enough people. I'm sorry, but you're not the right fit. You need to respond to everyone. That was specifically in the county grant. You also need to provide training and the supplies, be it the ones that we purchase with that stipend or something that's on the job site already, and supervision. The point of it is so that the people learn a new career and can benefit the island. So it's your organization's kuleana to provide that training and supervision. And there should be a ratio of no more than 3 workers to 1 supervisor during that training period. There also needs to be, and this is very important, on-time weekly submission of time cards. And we have the time cards and the websites and everything to submit them to. And on-time monthly reporting. The grant is very specific on the types of reporting that it needs and when it needs it. And it sounds cumbersome, but I think there's ways that we can make it easier for everyone involved. But the critical part is that it needs to be timely. If it has to be in on like the 4th of the month, and if it's any later, we lose the funding. So it is critical and very important that it happens in a timely manner. If it's impossible for your organization to submit paperwork timely, you will be removed from the program. I'm sorry it's that strict, but it's the way it is. There also needs to be the submission of the receipts for the worker supply stipend and an inventory of the things that you purchased for the folks. Okay. Next, the worker, they must be 18 or over. They must not have been previously employed with you before. So it can't be someone that that used to work with you last year and are now working again. It has to be a completely new person. It has to be not related to you, so not hiring your cousin or brother-in-law. and they have to be a dislocated worker through a reduction or termination of their previous job because of COVID. So during the hiring process, we will find a way of asking them and finding out, like from former employers, or how COVID has affected their employment status. And then the person has to have a genuine desire to change careers and use this program as a launching point to give them something different in life. It's a really good way to remake yourself. And so they have to display a genuine desire to make that happen. And the timeline for this project, I'll read the exciting parts first. Your host site applications are due on July 31st. And there's a link in this webinar for the host site applications, but I can also email it to you all as well. But they are due on July 31st. By August 7th, we'll notify everyone of your how many hours you qualify for within the program. There will also be a contract to sign. That's what MOU means, a contract to sign between Mālama Kauai and host sites. And then it must be returned by August 7th as well. And then what jobs you have available. After we know what jobs are available, we'll send people your way, and you can start interviewing and selecting candidates for your job. And then we will get them registered with their payroll processor, and all of that is taken care of. You don't have to worry about paying them. You just have to submit the time cards. And then August 31st or thereabouts is their first day and orientation at their host sites with you. And then September, October goes as it goes. And the last day of working is November 27th through December 1st. There is a possibility that this can be extended, but for our purposes today, December 1st is our last day of work, both full-time, part-time, what have you. So your next step, with our next slide, you would submit your host site application by the end of the week. And that is the site, the link to get your host site application, that tiny URL, Aloha, Aina, Hawaii. Complete the application, provide an interesting job that will excite candidates. There are some open-ended questions to answer, and give it like 3 to 6 sentences. They're easy questions, don't worry about it. The 3 to 6 sentence for those questions. Evaluation criteria for you as host sites, what we'll be looking at and what the county is looking at for a host site for this program. You can see impacts of COVID on your organization's staffing and your projects, and your level of involvement in community resilient efforts, and proven ability to provide appropriate management and oversight of workers, including paperwork and reporting, and your ability to provide in-demand job skills, and the likelihood of post-program hiring, opportunity for sustainability of employment, like if you can keep people on too. And the success of this program, it's exciting because it depends on putting people together. And I know that it's going to do a good thing for our island and for our businesses and our people too. So now is a Q&A question. So
Let's go to the chat.
I'll go to the chat room and see what's written there. There's people. Or if you've got a question now, having heard everything, ask me a question.
I'm gonna unmute.
And
They can unmute them.
Yeah, and unmute yourself too, and we can chat a bit too. If it gets too crazy, we'll mute again.
I had a quick question. This is Brian
Hi,
from
Brian.
Colorado Farm. Hey, how's it going? Thanks so much for putting this together.
Sure.
I just was curious, technically, do they become employees of our organization with the same obligations as other employees would have, or is it not like that?
Technically, no. They're employees of Mālama Kauai through a separate payroll program. So they will have their own thing going on. So they're different from the employees that you already have. Hopefully that they'll have the same instruction and benefits, and you'll treat them the same as your own employees, obviously.
Sure.
Cool. Does that answer that for you?
It does, thank you.
Cool. What else?
I also have a quick question.
Thanks, Lisa.
Hi. So there's a woman who has been working for us as an intermittent, like a couple of hours here and there, doing website work, and she was employed at the Hyatt, and so she is totally dislocated from her workplace, and now has the capacity to do more. But since she's been working for us for a couple hours a week, or a month, would that disqualify her?
If she already works for you in that capacity, and then would she work for you in that capacity or in a different capacity?
It could be, I think she would do anything really at this point. So if they could, I mean, I think she would prefer to work for us and expand her current capacity, but if that's against the rules, then she would certainly consider doing some of our other jobs.
Let her know to apply for the program, and then definitely mention that, and then we'll see what the powers of be say about her employment with you, or at the very least with someone else.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
What else have we got?
Just to further clarify, kind of related to Lisa's question, if we have an employee who's getting let go because of COVID, because our revenue has been reduced based on COVID, that person's not eligible, is that right?
That person that worked for you already?
Right. They're being let go, or hours are, being let go because of reduced revenue due to COVID.
Because this is technically a job retraining program, I would say that they are not eligible. The purpose of this program is to expand people's employment skills and capacities. So someone you already have is not eligible for this program.
Thank you. Yeah, that was my understanding. Just wanted to make sure.
Cool.
So what about kids who have deferred college? Like they haven't been in the workforce, but now they're here on island because they can't go to college. Or if they've been in the workforce, they've been doing, bussing tables or something, but at a totally are they eligible? I mean, I know a lot of kids that are not going off to college this fall.
We're saying kids over 18, am I right? Like.
Yeah. I mean, or I know students who started college and now are taking a gap year because they don't want to go back to a scary situation in the mainland or whatever. So what about them?
I would say that they are eligible. Have them apply. I may need to ask that question, but it does sound to me like technically it would, because they don't have options. This is a job training thing, and college students are our #1 job training category of humans.
Okay.
So yeah, have them apply. And also, spread the word via social media or through your own personal networks about this program, because the more applicants that there are, the more robust pool that you have to choose people from to work for you, with you, and to train with them. And I anticipate that the people are going to be displaced tour guides, restaurant workers, hotel workers, things like that. So smart people. So
we have the link now for the host site application. You guys have the application for workers so that we could start to spread that out, or is that not developed yet?
That's not ready yet. This is just for you guys to get your stuff in. Once we know what we're looking for at the host site, then we'll be able to say to the workers, these are the sorts of jobs that are available for you. Whether they're like, how many conservation jobs are there, CSA manager jobs, what sorts of like administrative jobs that we are, so we can advertise appropriately.
Good.
And then any worker that you know, potential worker that you know, you can refer them to Mālama Kauai's website, or you can give them my email address, which is aloha.aina@mālamakauai.org. I'm Annie, by the way, giving this, since you're looking at that one. And that's my telephone number too, you can find me.
And will you also email us these slides?
Totally will. Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah, and it's also going to be recorded as well. So you can go to, there's be a YouTube link and you can see this again. And we'll be able to share it with other potential host sites as well in the next few days.
Annie, you just mentioned mostly administrative type roles. For a farm, can the job opening be like farm worker?
Absolutely.
Or is it, okay.
As long as there's stuff to learn.
Sure.
Tons, I'm sure.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
I have a question. Hi, everyone. This is Ruby.
Hi, Ruby. It's Annie.
Hi, Annie. Nice job. I don't really have the infrastructure to supervise or hire workers. Like, it's not my, I'm a sea grant extension agent, so I don't have like, you know, ongoing projects for them to work on, but I do have a study that I'm embarking on that is going to require some heavy lifting for a few sessions that, and it would be on the beach and interesting for people, but I don't have the capacity to provide like probably the maximum amount of hours. And I'm wondering, did you have a sense of, I assume you'll have enough host sites and plenty of workers. But I'm just wondering if there's a scenario where I could borrow a body or something, or partner with another organization or something like that.
Right. I'm not sure. So it's not something that you would need, like, I need 5 hours a week. It's like, I need someone for a minute or two.
No, it would be like, I need someone for a day this week and a day next week.
Okay.
And then it might be POW. You know, it's a pilot study that we're doing.
Okay.
Taking samples on the beach.
So
yeah.
Collaborations with other organizations within the Aloha Aina workforce thing, those are definitely possible. There might be a situation where that worker could be shared between two coordinated sites. If you guys can get, you know, the 20 hours a week or whatever, you can share workers, and I think that would work out. You know, there's just got to be the training and the things that you need to satisfy the county's needs to receive the money from the grant. And of course, you would be working with the other host site to share that worker. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, it does. That's kind of what I thought of. I can reach out to some folks if that makes sense.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Yeah, I imagine like conservation sites can work together pretty closely and swap if you have a big thing that needs to happen. Totally possible.
Awesome. Thanks.
Cool.
I'm sure we can figure something out, Ruby.
Okay, thanks, Sarah.
I was gonna say same here. Like we one of the projects we have this fall is the same kind of thing where we're gonna need a couple of weeks of intense work and then POW in the middle of the fall. So if anyone's game and doing that kind of thing, let us know.
This is very cool. I like this. Awesome. And then I will try to make it so that you guys are available to collaborate with each other too, just to know who each other are. So it's not a mystery. Anything else? What have we got? Something happened. Thanks.
I thought of one other quick one. Sorry, I keep asking so many. I looked at the application, the tiny URL link, and I saw the last question is kind of asking how likely it is that we would then hire this worker at the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering how much of a focus that is. I saw the final option is like, there's no way we'll possibly hire this person. And it kind of makes it sound like if you check that, that's kind of like not what you guys are going for. So I was just wondering how important that is.
I don't know. I think your honesty is the most asked for thing. It might be that a worker is placed with you that is not a good fit at all, in which case you would check that box and say, hell no, I'm not hiring that person. But if there is a worker that you get that is not a good fit for you, they can be placed somewhere else where they are a good fit. So you do have the option to trade up if you found that you've made a mistake and it's like, no, there's someone who would be more fitted towards this.
But this is an application that we're filling out prior to even knowing who's in the pool of hiring, right? This is more like if we, what is our capacity to hire somebody on at the end of this?
Yeah, we honestly may not know what our capacities are in the next 6 months just based on the world events.
It'll be dependent on funding for most of us, I'm sure.
Yeah. Honestly, answer it as best as you can, because there is an option of like, no, I won't be hiring anyone else because A, my project is finished, or B, I got what I wanted out of this program, or who knows. I think that question is not going to be the deal breaker for you because it is sort of nebulous. Our goal is to make it beneficial for everyone all the time. So.
Yeah, for me, I actually know I'm going to have new positions starting in January, but they're not right after this. Like there would be a gap.
Mm-hmm.
And so the person would have to figure out what to do for that gap. And also they will be relatively skilled positions. So it really depends on the workforce that applies for the stuff we're doing this fall isn't as skilled, but the stuff I'm doing in January requires a lot of previous skills with birds. So it really depends on how fast a learner they are.
Yeah, or it could be that knowing that this person is a fit for you, you would want to hire them in the future.
Right. So for me right now, that's like I probably would choose the maybe or option in the middle there.
Like that one question is not going to be the yes or no deal breaker for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else? We just have a new participant.
Annie, I have a question.
Okay.
Mason Chalk. So can you again describe the criteria and process from the host site select the host site's role in selecting or having access to the worker? So this is the first step here is for us to apply here, and then in the next week you'll have open applications for anyone who's interested in working. Obviously there are people that we might want to target. We can pass on that application to them, and then how is it that we will be able to select whoever the pool is from? How's that going to work out for us?
Let's see. The workers will apply directly to the sites. Like we will have that pool of workers, and they will apply directly to you. Sites will interview and select the candidates, and then let Mālama Kauai know who they want to hire. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to look like, but it is going to be like, we'll have a pool of people to look for rather than the pool of 70,000 people on the island. You now have a pool of 40 to 50 people to look through, and they will apply to you, and you will tell us who you choose. Does that help with that?
Yeah, mahalo, mahalo. One more clarifying question. So you mentioned in the criteria that the applicants, the work applicants, cannot be related in any way. Does that mean, because some of us, run nonprofits with executive board staff and board members. So is that apply to every single member associated with the organization, which can be vast, or is it just the?
Mason, I saw that too, and I read that as cannot be related to any employee. So I don't think it extends to the board because you're volunteer.
Maikai.
That
Annie, am I correct in that though?
Yes. They should not be related to the host site and the host site's representative. So if they're within reason, because if you have 30 people that already work for you and everyone has relatives,
It's Kaua.
Everyone is related to someone here. So within reason, but you cannot hire your son to work at your place. I hope I answered that correctly. And I hope that I think it's an anti-nepotism clause.
I just wanted to go back to that earlier question about the application process.
Okay.
Technically, they're going to be applying to Mālama Kauai.
They're technically applying to you, and we are picking up the payroll and reporting.
Are you going to have the application process developed though, or are we going to then be responsible for figuring out the application process?
We'll do that.
Okay.
We'll do that, but you have your hiring criteria already set. So let me think. The application process we work out, and then they work with you. It sounds confusing coming out of my mouth, but I know that it'll be easier in real life.
So will you guys take care of workers' comp and anything like that?
All taken care of. All the human resources is done on our level.
Okay. So it's kind of like when I get a kupu service member, right? I mean, it's working on the host site and I do a lot of the selection, but at the end of the day, all those things get taken care of by kupu.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Cool. Any other questions? And again, this is going to be recorded, so you can refer back to it. And you can also email me all day long questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. What I don't know, I will farm out, and someone will get the answer to you. Anything else? I feel like.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you again so much for your interest in the Aloha Aina workforce program. I really think it can be a good thing for each other and for the island. And feel free to ask me questions. I'm available for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for taking this on.
Absolutely.
Mahalo.
Yep. Signing off now, okay? Bye.
Bye.